Hello, welcome to the Opinionistics. I'm your host, John Malone. In this episode, no co-host, because reasons, again, as always, yada yada yada. Introducing from Toronto, Canada, Teresa Greco.
Hello, everyone.
So, Teresa, what is it you do for a living?
Well, I do lots of different things, but I believe I'm here on the show today to talk about how I am a certified happiness life coach, and along with that, I write for various magazines where I submit versus happiness content. I have two internet TV and radio shows. One is called the Steps to Happiness Show, as well as the Happy Hour, both with Teresa Greco. I'm the editor of a luxury men's magazine and its senior writer. Um, so that's just a couple of the things that I do.
Okay, that's cool. And how long have you done all of that for?
Well, the profession that I didn't include in that list is I'm an educator and educational technologies consultant. So for the longest amount, this is my 27th year of teaching, which I still now do, but only twice a week. And I work with students that have special needs, and I help them to be successful in school using different types of educational technology. So, because I love working with kids and pouring love into them, I still do that twice a week. Me as a happiness life coach and a writer and speaker, I've been doing that for 5 years.
Hmm, alright then. So, have you done, so outside of that, is there anything that you want to do but haven't started it yet, or something that you've always wanted to do but still haven't done it yet?
Thank you. So basically, something on my bucket list to do is to do a TED Talk. And so I have been blessed enough to be selected to do two of them. So I will be delivering my first TED Talk next Friday at a university here called Western University in London, Ontario. And then in April, I will be delivering my second TEDx talk here in Toronto.
Hmm, alright then. Where do you see yourself 20 years from now?
Oh boy. 20 That's very far off in the future. Where I foresee myself then, but much sooner than 20 years in the future is I am already an international speaker, but I see myself traveling more to do that. So I am on a mission to help make the world a happier place by giving people the steps that they can take to connect with their inner happiness. And I try to do that in whatever capacity that I can, as I said, through my writing, coaching, speaking, and through my shows. And I would love to be doing that all over the world. So traveling to different communities, different locations, and spreading joy by sharing that information. I'm also pursuing my PhD with a dissertation in happiness. So um, I would like to finish that in the next few years, and so I will be speaking more about. I see myself speaking more about that research on a global stage.
Hmm, sweet. Is there an app you don't like using, but you somehow use it anyway?
An app?
Yeah.
Um, I can't think of anything right now that I use and I wish like I didn't because I didn't like it. I have I would say I only engage with with things that I enjoy. And the things that I don't enjoy, but maybe are things on my like to-do list. I don't I still have to make time for them. Um, Like, let's say any of the social media apps, to be honest, I use them because I have to use them for work, but do they bring me a lot of joy? They actually don't. I don't spend very much time on like Instagram or Facebook or even TikTok. I go on to those apps because I need to, because of my work and my social presence. But um, once I'm finished doing my work on there, I don't really stay on, because they don't bring me very much joy or pleasure being on there. So I think inadvertently I answered your questions. I mean, I think the apps are fine. I just don't find that I get very much joy from being on there more than just using them for work.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. Social media, it's a handful, honestly, and it actually drains away your attention span too. So I don't blame you if you're not enjoying social media. It's quite energy consuming.
It is. It's like a dark hole because even you can go on there for, to do work, right? Because I have to do a post or I have to share some information or something like that. And then you could lose yourself in the feed, right? Oh, or on the explore page. Or, oh, and I'm like, right away, I'm like, oh no, I don't have time for this. And I quickly get off. But, people go on there for like a quick break, but you could absolutely lose yourself. And then you're not being as productive at work, you're not meeting your deadlines, things like that. So you have to be consciously aware of when you get on. And I invite people to be consciously aware of how they feel when they're engaged in it, right? So what I'm noticing when I ask people that question is that they're remarking on the fact that they go on there because it's just like a quick thing to do, right? So you have a break, whatever, you go onto your phone. But I'm like, but how do you, when you come off of that device, how do you actually feel about yourself and your life? And oftentimes, when we're on those spaces, there is a lot of social comparison or personal comparison, right? Between me and the life that I see other people living. And people, it's various things that you're seeing on there. But if you're noticing that you don't feel invigorated, you don't feel energized, you don't feel excited about yourself and your life, then I invite you to think about, the accounts that you're following, the things that you're engaging in, because you want to ensure that what you are doing throughout the day is providing that joy for yourself. And so that's why when you said, is there something that, you really don't like? What I've learned through my work is that we should constantly be evaluating how we feel moment by moment through the day. And mindfulness, the practice of mindfulness, provides that opportunity for us to really be consciously aware, using all of our senses and tapping in and saying, how do I feel in this moment? And if you are engaging in those platforms and you find that you're not feeling good about yourself in your life, is not just to go on there mindlessly, but to actually be mindful and think about, who are you following? Who are you engaging in? And is it providing the joy that you're looking for?
Yes, absolutely. Have you ever imagined a world that's just one massive garden?
A world that is one massive garden?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say that I think we could look at our world in that way, in that we too, as humans, are a species on Earth, just like flowers, just like, various species of animals. It has so much beauty and so much diversity in it, right? That flowers in a garden are all beautiful, just as we are all beautiful, regardless of our skin color or where we're born or our economic status or religion and all of the different things that divide us and separate us and make us think that we're different and separate from each other. Is that flowers are all beautiful and there's so many different species of flowers, or same thing with insects, right? There's so many like different types of insects. And so if we all looked at ourselves as this beautiful massive garden, as you're saying, of so much diversity um, and uniqueness and specialness and really extraordinariness to like each of us, it would be a beautiful world if we didn't instead we use all of those differences to divide us and separate us instead of it uniting us and us celebrating the beauty in that diversity, which is why we are all different, why there isn't one single type of flower, there's many types of flowers, that there is diversity in nature and in like this garden, that I don't know if that's what you're envisioning, but if I would envision a garden that has a whole bunch of different types of diversity, right? The plants that we have, the trees, like all of it. Um, and really celebrating that and noticing how miraculous it is.
Yeah, I can see that too. Do you like spicy food?
Oh, only a touch. Only a touch. What about you?
Well, actually, I do like spicy food every now and then.
Hmm. But not so
Yeah,
spicy that it numbs my taste buds. That's what I find when it's too spicy, my taste buds just seem to go numb and then I can't taste any of my food. So that is why I kind of caution to say I kind of do, but when I feel like that little spot of heat, let's say, adds to the overall like taste of the food instead of it just burning my tongue and then I can't taste anything else after that.
yeah, I can see that. Would you teleport yourself 500 years into the future or 500 years into the past?
That's such a beautiful question. Um, I would say into the future. Into the past, we know what the past has been like. And unfortunately, the evolution of humankind, um, the past has been quite violent. And there's been a lot of that division and that fighting, and the past has been difficult. And so I would rather choose to go into the future and hope that some of the changes that we are trying to make on this planet at this time, so that we don't ruin our like don't ruin Mother Earth, and we start thinking about um, our actions here on this planet. And I would love to see what some of those actions actually produce. Um, because the past, yeah, I wouldn't want to go there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah,
about you?
I say the same to be honest.
Cool.
You have a match in a pitch dark room with a candle, a wood stove, and a gas lamp. Other than the match, which would you light first?
So you said there's a gas stove in a dark room?
Yeah, so there's a candle, a wood stove, and a gas lamp. Which would be the first to light?
The candle, and then the gas lamp.
Ah, very good.
And then the stove.
Do you prefer pens or pencils?
Pencils. Pencils. Always pencils. Even when I was in university, always pencils, because pencil allows me to erase and if I need to make any corrections, and I can erase it, versus a pen where if you change your mind about something, you have to cross it out it looks messy. And yeah, so definitely pencil.
Yeah, you never know when mistakes will come about and you have to erase them.
Yes.
Yeah. If you could host a talk show, who would you have on?
Mm. Well, I have the speakers and authors who I follow, um, that I've been following on my journey to happiness, which has been over 10 years now. So I would say some of those people that have impacted my life through their work, I would definitely say Marianne Williamson. I would love to have had Wayne Dyer. He unfortunately has passed, um, but he's on the other side now. So whenever I need some advice about speaking or writing, I try to invite him into my reality to inspire me from the other side. But he was also one of those prolific writers who, so many amazing books, and I listened to his work, through podcasts and different events that he spoke at, and just so impactful. So it would definitely have been him. Deepak Chopra, I would say, would be someone I would love to speak to. Dr. Robert Holden, and he's from England too, actually, in the UK. He specializes in happiness, and so he's definitely been one of those people whose work has impacted mine. Someone who's passed as well, Louise Hay. Oh my goodness, what it would have been like to interview her. So those are some people that I'm just thinking like top of mind right now.
Ah, nice. What is your favorite season?
So easy. I'm definitely a summer girl. And unfortunately, here in Canada, we are limited to summer being maybe 2 months. This past summer was almost non-existent. I think it was 2 weeks, and we had that in September. But the rest of the summer was pretty much non-existent. I am always cold, so I feel like I can finally put my shoulders down when it's the summertime, because otherwise I'm so cold and my shoulders go up, and I'm always like my hands are cold, everything's cold. So I'm not living in the right country for sure. Just for that aspect, I'm not, but I love the summer.
Yeah, me too. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would that be?
Mm, it would definitely be somewhere hot. Um, but I haven't, I've visited quite a few countries, I would say, but I haven't been to one where I feel like, oh yeah, I would want to live here like the rest of my life. It's so interesting that even though and I appreciate this question, because even though we lament sometimes about what the weather is like here, in Canada, where as I look out my window, as I speak to you, there's lots of snow on the ground. But you know what? The diversity again in the seasons, and how every couple months it's like Mother Nature switches it up and provides us something different to experience. In a way, keeps things interesting and unpredictable. And I like that. I like not knowing what tomorrow brings. My work as an educator and as a technology consultant brings me into different schools, and I work with different kids, but again, only twice a week. And I never know what to expect. As an educator, really, you don't, because you're working with so many different individuals, and every day could be something different. And I think it keeps things, and I'm going to use the word spicy just because, to tie into something that we talked about before. And I think it even though, on the days that are really cold or really wet or whatever Mother Nature's throwing at us, it does keep things interesting. It keeps us on our toes. So, if to say, yeah, I would want to choose somewhere that it would be warm most of the time, but would I really? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't feel so bad. I don't feel so bad now about living here because thank you for bringing up that question because it gave me a different perspective on what it's like to live definitely in a four-season country.
Yes, indeed. If you're going on a road trip, what two items do you make sure to bring with you?
Water and food, of course.
Yeah, that that makes logical sense.
Maybe I was torn between the food and my cell phone. So I could definitely want to use my cell phone because in case I want to stop and take pictures and things like that, or whatever we do on our phone. So, um, I guess to think that we could stop for food. So I didn't necessarily need to bring that, but maybe just like snacks, I think would be fun to have with us. So yeah, I was torn there between snacks and my cell phone.
Hmm, yes. What's a common misconception people have about you?
Hmm. I think that a possible misconception, which I have been told, is that because of the work that I do and the way I present myself on social media, I look like I have it all put together. Um, so a misconception would be that I don't I don't always have it put together, that I do have my own personal struggles, challenges, and hardships that I work through all the time. That happiness is not something that you get to a great place and you just stay there. It doesn't work like that. That the world is constantly pulling us away from the love, peace, and happiness that we are every day because we interact with different people. As soon as we might get, into our cars and onto the road, there could be different things. So there's a lot. And then we don't live in isolation. So, even though I feel that I wake up happy every morning, that's not necessarily the case with those, in my family that I live with. Right. So there are always things that are pulling us away. All we have to do is turn on the news or watch it on TV. We're pulled away. So it is, I do a lot of work behind that, right? That when I do present myself on social media or when I'm doing talks or the work that I'm doing, it looks like, wow, she's got it all, she's got her shit together. She's got it all together. But the truth is I work at that. It's not just I don't just wake up and it's always, an amazing day or an amazing time. And if I don't feel amazing, then actively take steps to bring me back to my place of happiness. So I don't stay in my unhappiness for long. As soon as I recognize that my energy is a little bit low, my vibration is a little bit low, what can I turn to in my happiness toolkit to bring me back to who I really am? So that's what I would say, is a comment that I've had. And yeah, the truth is that I too have my challenges and I work towards bringing me back to a place of happiness.
Fabulous. What kind of music do you often listen to?
Hmm. And it's interesting that you're asking me this because today I had to basically I had an Apple Music subscription, but then we just let it lapse, and so I had to sign up for it again. And when you let it lapse, all your playlists disappear. So you go into it, there isn't a single song that you add to your playlist, and you're like, "What the heck? My music, my music." So I have a variety of playlists that I like to turn to. Um, One of them, which I'll highlight now, is called my Feel Good playlist, my Feel Good songs. And in there are the songs that I immediately turn to when I'm feeling like I need a boost. So, I'm going to tie this into my response for the question before that when I'm feeling a little low and I need to like get back into my zone, then I will choose the songs that I have strategically placed in there. So, those again are part of my toolkit. My feel good songs playlist is something along with my books, my podcasts, and not my exercise. So I have a bunch of different things that I know that work for me. And in that feel good songs playlist, I have a variety of songs. So from some popular artists like Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber, I really like. There's some country songs in there. There is some from some also not necessarily well-known artists either. So it's a mixed bag of things. But there are songs that for me, when I listen to them, remind me of who I really am. Remind me of the love, peace, and happiness that I am, that we all are. And that when I listen to those songs, they are that. They're energizing, they're invigorating. It's like they really hit into like my heart or my soul where I'm like, yes, yes. And they remind me of like of what's important because again, the world pulls us away. So we do need those things to realign us, to ground ourselves, to center ourselves when the world pulls us away. So I have and I have there's some like uh Latino music in there too. So it's like a mixed bag of songs, but the lyrics in there are all ones that I I feel like are all super powerful for me. They're reminding me. Lady Gaga's in there. Yeah, like so it's a mixed bag.
Nice, nice. Have you heard of a drink called banana friche?
A drink called Banana Frutte?
No, banana friche.
No, I haven't.
That's alright, I get that response from a lot of people.
What is it?
So, so it's a banana flavored milkshake slash smoothie that has all the tingly sensations in the world.
Oh, and what ingredients are providing those tingling sensations?
Well, we're only yet to find out in the next who knows how long.
Well, it definitely sounds like an exciting drink then. I love
It
that.
sure does.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
And that is all we have for this episode. It's great having you on, Teresa, talking about your works as a PhD in transpersonal psychology, your TED Talks, and wow, a lot of other things. It's so much. It's been great.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And until next time, stay opinionated.